In 1938, a scientist decided to play God. He built a world called Universe 25. It was a mouse paradise. It had unlimited food, unlimited water, perfect climate control, zero predators, and zero disease. It was designed to be the perfect environment, a place where no living being would ever have to suffer, struggle, or work for anything. Logic tells us they should have flourished. It should have been the happiest civilization in history. But that is not what happened. At first, the population exploded. But as the colony grew and life remained perfectly easy, something strange happened to the mice psychology. They stopped breeding, they stopped interacting, they become aggressively violent without cause, or they become what Calhoun called the beautiful ones. These were male mice who withdrew from society entirely. They spent every waking second eating, sleeping, and grooming themselves. They had no stress, no scars, and perfect coats. They were physically perfect and psychologically dead. Within 600 days, the population of Universe 25 was extinct. Biologists call this behavioral sink. And I am telling you this story because if you look at the window, it starts to look very familiar. We have built Universe 25. We call it modern life. Just like those mice, we are finding out that an environment of perfect comfort is not paradise. It is a cave. To understand why this happens, we have to look at the machinery inside our skull. For 99% of human history, comfort was a signal that you had succeeded. It meant you found the cave, you killed the mammoth, you survived the winter. Your brain is wired to seek comfort because for millions of years, comfort was rare, energy was expensive, struggle was guaranteed. This is what evolutionary biologists call the mismatch theory. Your software is outdated. You are running Stone Age software on a digital age hardware. Your brain thinks that if you crave sugar, you should eat it all, because you might not find fruit for another week. Your brain thinks if you can avoid walking, you should to save calories for a predator attack. In the wild, these instincts kept you alive. But today, when sugar is a 24-hour drive-through and the predator is a mean email from your boss, these instincts are killing you. We have systematically removed friction from our lives. Friction is the resistance between you and the result. Walking to a friend's house is a friction. We replace that with texting. Hunting or farming is a friction. We replaced it with DoorDash or Uber Eats. Boredom is friction. We replaced it with social medias. We thought we are optimizing our lives, but we didn't realize that friction serves biological purpose. Without frictions, your dopamine receptors downregulate. Without thermal stress, your vascular systems weakens. Without physical load, your bones loses density. By removing the struggle, we remove the signal that tells our body to stay strong. This isn't a new realization. The smartest civilization in history knew that luxury was a trap. Let's look at Sparta. When a Spartan boy turned 7, he was taken from his mother. He was given one cloak for the entire year, no shoes, and he was fed just enough to stay alive, not enough to be full. He had to steal food to survive. If he was caught stealing, he was beaten, not for stealing, but for getting caught. Now, we look at that today and call it child abuse, and by modern standards, it is. But the Spartans weren't sadist, they were realist. They believed that civilization naturally makes men soft. They believed that if you let a boy sleep in a warm bed and eat until he is full, he will grow up to be a coward. They manufactured adversity because they knew nature wouldn't provide enough of it anymore. Then look at Rome, the Stoics. Seneca was a tutor of the Emperor Nero. He saw firsthand what happens when a human being is given unlimited power and unlimited pleasure. Nero had everything being catered to. He never heard the word no. He never felt hunger, he never waited for anything. and he became a monster. He murdered his mother, he burned his city, and he kicked his pregnant wife to death. Seneca realized that he wasn't born a monster. He was made a monster by the absence of struggle. That is why Seneca, despite being a billionaire, he practiced poverty. And he wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the skinniest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, is this the condition that I fear?" He was terrified of becoming mean. He knew that the only thing holding back the monster of human psyche is discipline. Fast forward today, we don't have emperors, but we have Silicon Valley. There is a concept in user experience design called frictionless. The goal of every app on your phone is to reduce the time between impulse and action to zero. You want food? One click. You want sex? Swipe right. Want entertainment? Scroll down. This brings us to the neuroscience of the trap. Dr. Andrew Huberman and Dr. Aina Lembeck have written extensively about the pain-pleasure balance. Imagine your brain works like a teeter-totter. When you experience pleasure, the scale tips on one side, but the brain wants homeostasis. It wants to be level. This is the hangover after the party and the crash after the show. But here is the problem with modern life. We are pressing the pleasure button all day long. Caffeine, Instagram, sugar, music, podcast, porn, Netflix, etc. We never let the scale reset, so your brain adapts. It adds permanent weight to the pain side to counter-react the constant flood of pleasure. This is called anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure. You end up in a state where beautiful sunsets feels nothing, where hanging out with your friends feels like a chore. You aren't sad, you are numb. This is the comfort trap. The more you chase deep comfort, the more your baseline for happiness drops. You are borrowing happiness from tomorrow to pay for comfort today, and eventually the debt dues. So, are we just doomed? Is this the solution to smash your phone and live in the woods? Actually, no. The solution is found in a biological concept called hormesis. Exercise is a hormetic stress. You are tearing muscle fibers and spiking cortisol. It's bad for you in the short term, but it makes you invincible in the long term. Like fasting, cold exposure, these are all hormetic stressors. If you want to escape the comfort trap, you must engineer hormesis into your daily life. You need to build a protocol of struggle. First, the thermal reset. We live in a climate-natural world, 21 degrees Celsius everywhere. Your vascular system is atrophying. Get into the cold not because you are a tough guy, but because when cold water hits your skin, your brain produces an antidepressant that you manufacture. The second thing is caloric restrictions. We are the first humans to never feel hunger. Try fasting for 16 hours or 24 hours. When you are hungry, your senses sharpen, your mental fog clears. You remember that food is fuel, not entertainment. The third one is dopamine fast. This is the hardest one. Take one day a week, no screens, no digital inputs, just you, a book, a notebook, and the world. You will feel bored, you will feel agitated, you will reach for your pocket 100 times. But after 4 hours, the fog lifts. Your brain realizes no dopamine is coming, so it resets the sensitivity. Suddenly, the trees look greener. The food tastes better, you feel human again. There is a man called Jerry Gregor. He's an Olympic weightlifter and a poet. He has a famous quote. I quote, "Hard choices, easy life. Easy choices, hard life." So here's the summary. We have talked about everything in this video. If you choose the easy path, the snooze button, the junk food, the comfortable silence, your life will become hard. You will be physically weak, mentally fragile, and spiritually empty. But if you choose the hard path, if you choose the cold water, the difficult book, the honest conversation, life becomes easy. You built a suit of armor around you and your mind. The world is going to get crazier. It is going to get more chaotic. The algorithms are going to get better at hacking your brain. You cannot rely on society to protect you. Society wants you weak because weak people buy things to feel better. You have to be the guardian of your own potential. So I want you to look at your life. Where are you seeking comfort that is actually making you weak? Where are you avoiding frictions that could make you strong? The cage is open, the door is unlocked. All you have to do is walk out.